fairly small pond.
Yes.
I mean, is this it?
71 acres, this is it.
Yeah, what we've got is like a 70-acre lake in northwestern Connecticut, and not very deep, about 18 feet in the middle, and a lot of water that's 6-8 feet deep with a lot of vegetation. Really good cover for largemouth bass, and the forage I think is perch and golden shiner, and we've got some baits that hopefully imitate that forage. It'll catch us some bass.
And it's pretty chilly out today.
Yeah, when I woke up this morning, it was pretty much 32 degrees, and it's warmed up. It's probably mid to high 40s now, and the water temp is in the high 50s. So I think we have a good shot at catching some nice fish.
And what stage are the fish at now? What should we expect?
They're sort of just moving into their real fall pattern at this point, and once it turns on, fall fishing can be really good. You can catch some of your biggest fish of the year. I don't think fall is a great time to catch numbers necessarily, but your best shot at a big largemouth may be in October, and that's why we're here.
Now, why is that?
As the water starts to cool, the bass seem to really feed up in anticipation of a winter, which it'll be more slim pickings for them from a food standpoint. One of the things I really like about fishing a small pond like this is every body of water has its own unique character. And that may be, drops or weed beds or whatever, but, every lake has its own personality, and even a small 70 or 80 acre lake like this takes a little time to figure out and put the pieces of the puzzle together, and I think that's what keeps it fun. This is it. It's about 10 feet here, and we got some good weed, and I know that it's a slowly tapering flat. It's got a lot of weed cover, and I think this time of year will be a good place to catch some bass.
It takes a lot of balls to fish with that, man. And you've caught a lot of fish with that.
Yeah.
So it's a confidence bait now?
Yeah, I think this time of year it's a great bait to throw because the fish are looking for a meal that'll reward them for the energy that they expend, and this is probably something, if they eat a bait fish this big, they probably don't have to eat for 2 or 3 days by the time they digest it. So, yeah, I love fishing these big swim baits. It's a lot of fun.
Little do they know, they're not going to be quite rewarded if they chomp on that.
Yeah.
And what are you setting me up with?
I'm setting you up with a gold spinner bait. I think the combination of the silver Colorado blade and the gold willow leaf blade is nice, and the heads are sort of probably the nicest looking ones we could find in the catalog. The spinner baits are actually ones that my buddy and I throw together ourselves, and it's kind of fun to make exactly what you want.
It's a very comfortable setup here, even with the right-hand retrieve, which I'm not used to. It's very light, casts very easily. But what's with the guides?
That's a spiral wrap, and what that does is it puts the guides at the bottom of the rod instead of on the top, so that when you're fighting a fish, there's no torque trying to turn the rod over. That was my first custom-built bait casting rod, and I love them.
Now, why aren't all bait casters like that?
It just never really caught on with the public yet. At some point it may, but I don't know. Bass always wants to try to sort of do a cost-benefit analysis. How much energy is it going to take to chase this bait, and what am I going to get in return? And if they can expend the same amount of energy to go after a big bait, they're going to eat something maybe up to a third of their own size.
Really? That's a big meal. Oh, yeah.
Little largemouth.
Not bad.
Finesse bait. At least it's a start. Hopefully we can get one about 5 or 6 times as big as that.
Now, how did he hit? And what did he hit?
To be honest with you, I really wasn't moving the bait very much. I let it settle to the bottom, and then when I went to lift the first time, he was just there. It was just weight. I didn't feel a bite or anything. And you'll find that a lot. Right after a real cold night like this, if the fish are lethargic, you may not even feel the bump. You just got to feel a little bit of tension on your line and set the hook. And, you know, somebody said once hook sets are free, and you may as well set the hook. And, you know, if I hadn't set the hook right then, he may have spit it. So at least we got one fish in the boat, and hopefully that'll be the first of many.
What are you fishing there?
What I'm fishing is a very lightweight. I'm fishing a 1/16 ounce true tungsten worm weight with a very light wire X-point hook and a Texas rig baby brush hog, which is just a little finesse kind of creature bait. And it's a great numbers bait when the bite is tough, and it's resulted in some really big fish. In fact, my biggest fish of the year came on this bait, so it's a bait I have a lot of confidence in. There's a hit.
He looks tired.
Nice fish.
Yeah. They're getting bigger.
Another one on a brush hog. Brush hog's the star of the show today, I guess.
I guess so.
Thank you. Fish will tell you what they want. It doesn't make any sense at all to try to force feed them the bait that you want to catch fish on. If you take the cues that they give you throughout the day and, you know, fish a soft plastic slow on the bottom, and that's what's productive, that's what you need to go with. Trying to get them to come up and hit a spinner bait in the top foot of the water column may not be the best course of action when you're getting bit, you know, down toward the bottom of the water column when you're buried in weeds.
Lunkerville will be right back after these short